Our first guests definitely know how to make people smile and feel loved. They are this year's Pet Partners Pet of the Year team. Please give pause and applause to Lindsay Wallace and her multi-talented dog with a really cool name, Rye Guy. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
What I gotta say, Rye Guy. I mean, are you into bread or what's the deal?
I got him when he was about 7 or 8 months old, and his litter name was Rye, and they named him that because he kind of looks like rye bread.
All right. Pet Partners is an organization near and dear to my heart because I have a certified, or I guess they call it registered therapy dog and a registered therapy cat, Kona and Casey. But you guys won the big award in 2023. So, I mean, there's the academies, there's Emmys, there's global wins, but come on, being therapy pet of the year, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that it was even in our future. We got nominated because we have an Instagram page, Rye Guy.
And you got to tell us, what is it slowly?
Rye Guy 0122.
Okay, we got it. IG, okay.
And then we post different stuff because we do competitive agility and frisbee, and we also do therapy work. And we got nominated from someone in Pet Partners. They were like, "We really think you should try out for this." And I'm like, I have never fundraised before in my life. I don't, last time I did this, I was selling chocolates door to door when I was in elementary school. We'll give it a go. And we have a big community of dog sport people, therapy dog people, pet owners. We'll see how it goes. And I'm happy that I took the plunge. It was a lot of work, but I mean, when you have someone like Rye, he kind of makes it easy.
Does he have a wry sense of humor? You know, I was going to ask you that.
He is so funny. Australian Shepherds are great. Like, he doesn't take himself too seriously. Before we go into the ring for agility, for example, he's like rolling around, itching his back. All the dogs are focused.
Real intense. Yeah. He's chill. So let's step back a little bit. So this Pet Partners is a international therapy group. Pets, dogs, cats are involved in other critters. And how much money did you raise and how did you do it?
Yeah, we raised $14,000 in a 6-week competition period.
6 weeks? Nice.
Yeah. And we did it by mostly just reaching out to everyone that we knew Rye has met, or people that we knew loved therapy dogs, or people that we knew loved dogs, and kind of just told them that, like, Pet Partners provides not only the registration process for therapy dogs, but the continued education and the promotion of to do therapy animal work right. And the more I kind of told people about what we do, they were like, "Oh, I didn't even know there was a registering body, if they're not in therapy work," or "I didn't know they also did education." And I think that made a huge difference, educating them about Pet Partners. Mm-hmm. But we out to, not only just friends and family. I think I wanted to say I counted like 160 individual donors.
Nice. Did you get any little kids that donated?
Oh, I'm sure.
Here's my penny jar.
I think the biggest thing was that we had really amazing community support from some businesses. Our biggest donor was our local restaurant, Tap House. It's also our favorite restaurant. We, in the summertime, like to bring the dogs there on their patio. They donated $3,000. Like,
wow,
with much.
And
effort.
are you in Minneapolis? Is that where you are?
We are in Rochester, Minnesota.
Okay, Rochester. Oh, yes, we'll get into that in a minute because there's the 4-letter word that's there and it starts with M and ends in O when we're talking Mayo, right? Yeah. So I want to just backtrack. So how long have you and Rye Guy been a therapy team?
Since 2019.
Okay. And you're also a therapy team evaluator. Is that the right term?
Yeah, I actually, because I like teaching and I like helping and kind of instructing. So it was helpful for me to take on a bigger role. And so I decided to take extra training and be an evaluator as well.
And for those that tune in on our YouTube, I'm laughing because I don't know why, but Pet Safety Cat Casey, who's also a therapy pet, is sitting next to the mic purring. I think he's digging Rye Guy.
Well, I mean, they're both the right color. They're both kind of that orangey red.
All right. So you've been the 2023. What does that mean? I mean, what have you done with that? I mean, it's a great a great platform to get the word out about therapy teams.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I did not think that we were going to win. I mean, I just continued trying and I worked hard and just assumed I'll give it my absolute best effort and I'll feel good about that. And then as we won, I was like, wow, there's a lot of things you have to do. Different shows, different podcasts like this, different news events. And a big thing was even just getting a cool photo shoot. We got to do a photo shoot with him and his cool, huge ribbon he gets to wear. They even made the t-shirts with his little cartoon face on it. And, it was actually really special because one of the boys that Rye had met, he was getting care at Mayo and he was coming through the airport. Rye had seen him in the airport and actually also saw him at the hospital. So that was kind of cool. And he and his mom, we've seen them routinely. They gave us a shirt about a fundraiser that they had done for their son. And I was like, and I know that the winner of Pet of the Year will get their cartoon shirt. And that's why I wanted to win. Like, that was the reason, because I was like, I want him to have a shirt with Rye's face on it. Of course, I could make it. It's nothing like a trophy, like.
No, it's better than a trophy. You can wear it.
Yeah.
It doesn't collect dust.
Yeah. Huge push for me because I was like, I want to give that back to him in the same way that they gave it to us. And we also made t-shirts to help fundraise too. They have written, Pet Partners has a connection with Bonfire and you can design your own shirt. So we designed like a general shirt for Rye and his mom, Jive, who also was a therapy dog. And
wait a minute. His mom is, what's the name?
Jive, like the hand jive.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, we're speaking with Rye Guy. He's very quiet right now at the moment. And Lindsay Wallace. They are the 2023 Pet Partner Therapy Pet of the Year. And this dog is very amazing. We're going to find out a little bit more about what he does because he's a therapy dog, but he's also a jock on 4 legs. Quickly, for people, therapy dogs, therapy cats, they come in all different sizes, shapes, and attitudes. What makes Rye Guy such a natural therapy dog?
Yeah, he actually has been an old soul since he was a pup. We got him at 8 months, and I remember just seeing him in the beginning. The breeder was like, I normally don't home Aussies to apartments. That's like not a really good match usually, but he is just so calm. He's very sweet. And so, as soon as I started to get to know him, within his first couple of years, I was like, man, he really likes people and he's just a gentle soul. And he's always been, he hasn't been one that jumps like crazy or barks a lot. He's always been very calm and, you just feel at home when you're with him. I've heard people tell me, they're like, I feel like he's like a reincarnated someone. He's very special. Wow. Someone. And, he kind of looks at you like a person a little bit when you talk to him.
He does. I feel like he and I are buds now, and just through the screen. One thing that I was really touched is that you are in Rochester, Minnesota with the Stellar Mayo Clinic. So let's talk about that. But also, people are going to the Mayo Clinic. They're landing at the airport. Tell us what role Rye Guy has at the airport.
Yeah, so the airport's a great place to start if you're a new therapy dog team. We kind of started there early in our journey, which was great. And it's because it's not a huge airport and it's not so small that there's no one there. There's but a lot of them are actually there because they're transferring back and forth to Mayo Clinic for various reasons.
And that's stressful, isn't that?
Yeah, whether it's good news or bad news, a lot of times it's just very stressful. Many times we've met people where they're like, I just got the worst news ever and I miss my dog so much and it's been great, to see such a fluffy therapy dog. Or they'll say like, I have an Australian Shepherd at home. I miss them so much. And, whether they bond because of the breed or because he's just a dog.
He has a natural smile. He's smiling the whole time right now.
Yeah. He looks right at you, but not in an intimidating way. He looks right at you and just is like, I'm looking at you and I love you. I love who you are. And there's so many people we've met through the airport that, I didn't realize how many lives we would touch, but he picks out people too. At the airport, we'll walk by and we kind of just look to see who looks at us. And he will usually find people where he's like, no, this one, I want to say hi to this one. And I'm like, I don't know if they want to say hi to you. So then we go up and ask, and they're like, oh, I've just been so stressed, And I'm like, man, he found them. Like he knew.
So he's wearing, what is he wearing, and how do you get into the airport without a lot of hassle?
Oh, at the airport? Yeah. Whereas usually
you don't have a ticket.
Yeah. So go through a special background check. I do. He kind of does, I guess. But I do. I fingerprinting and all that sort. So I have a special badge that gives me certain access. We go through security. His collar always beeps. So one of the lucky TSA people get to pat him down. And it's actually kind of nice. They test my hands and stuff, of course, every time we go through, but they know us now well enough where we know the drill. Ryan knows the drill. And then, it's pretty easy. It's actually with how comfortable that airport is, it's not intimidating.
So does he have a jacket? What's he wearing to show that he's a therapy dog?
So he actually doesn't always wear anything in particular. We did have a vest that said, like the Mayo Clinic in particular program that he can wear a vest, but I found that it kind of got in the way of people petting him.
Because he's so fluffy.
Well, they have little bandanas that say Caring Tails. So he'll wear a tails bandana. And then I have a shirt that says Caring Tails Volunteer.
Okay.
So yep.
All right. So at the hospital, I mean, that's pretty serious things. Does he see all different ages, kids, older people?
We started out seeing a variety of different people, and I found that he actually likes kids the best.
Okay.
Kind of interesting because I naturally am not, I don't have a lot of experience with kids. And for me, I was like, we got asked because he does a ton of tricks. So we were doing tricks in the patient rooms, and patients' families loved it. And it became a very quick story that went around that there's this therapy dog who does tricks.
Give us a few Rye Guy tricks. What does he do?
He does, he'll jump on my back. He'll jump through circled arms, and he'll do the circled arms for kids too. He'll walk between your legs and walk on your toes. And he'll do that one for the kids, and they love it. Whether they have shoes on or not, he'll do it. As long
Does
as
he ever go over the shoulder hug? Has he done that?
Oh, actually, he's not. We haven't trained that one, but a lot of people recommended that one. So I think that one has to be on our list.
Okay. Well, let's see him jump on your back if you could. Just ask him if he would do it.
We'll move his little climb out of the way. Hey, buddy. Come here. Okay. Come. Wait. How about? Stay.
How much does he weigh?
He is about 8 pounds.
Okay. How much pounds? How much?
About 48.
Oh, okay. So how's your back?
A lot of training to make sure that he knows where to step. He's kind of like, an elephant on a pedestal. But yeah, favorite one to do with the kids. He likes this one.
Yeah, and see, I think that makes this. We have chemistry in our brain. You know this, and when people are sick and not feeling well, he's releasing all those feel-good hormones, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I mean, there was a patient that actually told us one time. It was before we did the kid stuff, but they were like, I can feel the pain leaving my body as I pet him. And
wow.
I'll never forget that moment. I have that whole vision imprinted in my brain, and I'm like, that's why we do this. I have a full-time job. I'm a physician.
What do you do? What do you do?
I'm a physician assistant in the medical ICU. And so during COVID, that was very stressful, and it was hard to juggle a lot of other things. But volunteering is, even though it's an extra thing in the schedule, it is so rewarding. And so I really make a time to do it because it's fun with him, and it's fun to see how happy we can make people. So,
and how do you make sure that Rye Guy is good after helping others? Because, emotions go in our dogs, our cats, us. So how do you give him a little break? What do you do for him so that he gets to have a fun time?
Yeah, he loves treats a lot.
I do too, Rye Guy.
When he's tricks. And I think that's rewarding for him largely. And I found that if we don't do a lot of treats during his visits, he's not as happy. So for him,
you're saying treats, and he's like, come on, do you have one with me?
I'm here.
He goes, yeah, please.
So he really likes to get treats. But, there's times where being a handler, you really have to know, and you know this as well because you have therapy animals. You have to be able to read them, and some days they don't, and that's okay.
Exactly. I like that point. You've got to watch them and say, I think it's time to go or things like that, right? And that's okay. So he's a jock. We talked about he's in agility and frisbee. Come on, here's your dog mom time to brag. Let's talk about Rye Guy as a jock.
Oh yeah,
I see a lot of ribbons in the background.
All the dog sport people, we all have some room in our house that we hide all of the stuff. But we started in frisbee. And I got into frisbee because my dad really wanted to play with his border collie, but the dog never really caught a frisbee. And so it was to get my dog to do it. And my dad had passed away when I was young. So I kind of wanted to, do that for him. And then I found out Rye was kind of a natural. It didn't take a ton of training for him to catch the disc. He didn't have drive to go chase it. Come here. Lay down. Thank you. He didn't have a lot of drive initially, but we built it. So he's such a soft, gentle guy, your classic therapy dog. So to build the drive and the want and it took a lot of time, a lot of short little sessions, but we got there. And he actually has the highest disc dog title, the Disc Dog Unobtainium Elite through Updog and AKC.
Nice. Did you get a new car for that?
I know, right? I wish.
More ribbons.
And then we also do competitive agility, and that's primarily what we do now because we can do that year round.
Okay. How's he doing in that?
He has a championship title in one of the venues called UKI, and he actually made a national podium at one of the big events we went to in Florida last month.
Oh,
so
nice.
he's really fast, which is always surprising to people because he's so calm and chill. And then he takes off from the start line, and before you know it, he's like flying around the course. And that is just so cool to me that he can turn that on. And then when we get out of the ring, he's back to being like, his couch
But
potatoes.
that's good. But they always change the sequence on the agility obstacles. So any tips you could give somebody about how it works for you and Rye Guy?
Yeah, he actually is, because he's such a soft guy, he gets very stressy if he makes a mistake.
Aww.
And we've learned over time that we don't aim for the titles and the ribbons for agility. Well, they'll come, eventually if you put enough.
Yeah.
But it's more about that relationship and dancing out there together as a team. And when the dance goes well and we both know our steps, it's really incredible. So we practice twice a week with different trainers, and we practice, other stuff at home. We pretty much live and breathe agility outside of our therapy dog work.
Well, what message do you want to give folks? I'm lucky that my dog Kona and my cat Casey are therapy pets, and it's the give back to see everything that they do for people, and but what's your message to people? Maybe they might have a therapy dog in the making, right?
Yeah, I would say, you'd be surprised. I think the biggest thing is, does your animal like to be interactive with people, and not in over exuberant way, because
right.
But the biggest part is, can you read their body language? Like, I can see him in the camera looking at me now.
Yeah, he's watching you. Yeah.
But you can see that he's been very antsy, right? Like, he's like, I'm sitting in one spot. I kind of want to do things, right? So I know that he probably needs some kind of direction or something, right? So a big part of therapy work is truly bonded with your animal and knowing how to read when they're comfortable, when they're happy, when they're not happy, when they're a little bit,
that.
And what to do for them. I think that is the part that when we first started, I didn't realize how important that was. And that is ultimately what will make you a successful team if you get into it.
And I do know you can go to petpartners.org. I believe that's the website. How do people follow Rye Guy?
So Rye is on Instagram. So
Okay.
You can find, it's an open, public page. We made it just so that people can follow along if they want. There's a smattering of therapy dog things versus things about even his competitions or even his mom's. She's been a very accomplished agility dog so far. So there's a lot about her, but also therapy work too. So
that is Rye Guy 0122?
That is. Yep.
Okay.